Yeah. Welcome to the Lion Den Roars. We got Mr. Bryan Gribbins on with us tonight. I'm
Hey, how you
John.
boys
This
doing?
is Chris. We're good, man. We're good. Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me too. And special shout out to Chris right there because he actually showed up on my podcast not too long ago, even though we meant to do this last year. But so thanks for coming on, Chris.
Hey, you're welcome. Sorry it took so long.
That's your fault. Hey, life happens. As they also say from Forrest Gump, shit happens. So
And Mama said, yeah, it was a great interview too, man. We caught that. Right on. Excellent.
yep. And also shout out to Kim. And she was on a little while back as well here too. So hi Kim.
That's right. She says, hey.
Good to hear.
Right on. Hell yeah. Tell the folks out there the name of your podcast.
So my podcast is called All Music Matters, and that at the end it's a little Pittsburgh slang or a little dialect if you want to call it that. So it's N with an apostrophe A-T. So unfortunately it's just one of the many things that Pittsburgh people just made up one day and then just started flowing among the masses. So once again, all music matters in that. So, and I guess, do you want to hear a little bit about the history of it too? Because it's a question that's come up on my podcast a good bit. So.
Keep it rolling, brother. Yes, please.
Okay. So it actually started during COVID. So more so 2021. I'd say 2020, I was just trying to get the whole idea down and everything. So in 2021, it officially took off right there too. Because with COVID, I was able to work from home. I still had a job and everything there too. So I just needed something to also fill in the void there too, because I really wasn't doing much after work was done. So I decided to let it roll one day. I actually had a friend of mine I went to college with. He actually went down into Nashville, became part of a band. He was actually last year was on one of the halftime shows in the Orange Bowl. Believe it or not, he was one of the drummers. So
obscure drop, but a cool one.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Neil Yakupin, that's his name. So make sure you give a shout out to him there too. So there's that, and then initially it just started off with people who were just on YouTube, just mainly more strictly drummers, to be honest, because that's the instrument I play, and I can get into that a little later. But for a while, it was mainly just drummers. I was finding on YouTube and maybe some on social media, mainly through Facebook and maybe a couple on Instagram. And then it wasn't until I found Vox and Sticks that, and I always laugh about, shout out to Vox and Sticks there too, but they eventually opened the door to the indie community and the whole thing with Band Together and everything here too. And one thing led to another. Eventually, I did find Kim and Chris and a whole bunch of other people. I know you're also good friends with Storm Kingdom, aka Justin.
So, hell yeah!
And for a while, I mean, hey, been rolling with it ever since. Can't really argue.
I understand you also had Chris Brandon on there.
Chris Brandon, yeah, that was a little recently too. Yeah, so
right on.
I love that.
He's currently playing bass for my band now. Real happy to have him.
Yeah, he's awesome dude there too. That's a pretty interesting stories. And actually, another show I actually saw you had Asphalt Jungle on. So I forgot. You know what? I brought it up with Chris when he came on my podcast recently, and I told him you forgot to ask him about his time in the Navy. And actually, he did a little touring band with the whole Navy deal when they went all over the world and just started playing all these covers. So so they play like punk rock in like the UAE, for instance, there too. So
well, we're gonna have to have him back on and ask him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I know in the past he's talked about some good times he had in Florida and playing out in the street, drumming in a bar and walking out in the street and jamming still. Obviously wireless, but hell yeah. Quick question though, on the earlier broadcasts that were more drum focused, would you have folks play in their parts, or was it all just strictly asking questions about them and their drums? And was there live playing at all? How much did you guys nerd out?
Well, not fully, and I think a couple times there were people they were like sitting next to their sets, but they never did like any solos or anything like that. I think there was maybe only a couple who were like part of any sort of music projects. So
yeah,
but I can at least say I got a global presence now with a good number of people in the UK, and then Sweden slowly taking over there too. So we can give a shout out to Fanscap and all of my
Oh yeah.
Swedish brothers and sisters. So then found some lucky ones in Greece. I actually one out of Hungary and a couple out of Australia. I mean, we're slowly taking
Right
over
on.
the world, slowly but surely.
Yeah. As all goes right.
That's right.
And so you did mention that you're a musician as well, and you've jammed with a few. How many collabs have you got, ballpark?
Let's see. I think currently it's my own project, which you also see in the name there, Demiurge, which is my own project I do with Waiting at the Bridge. Shout out to TJ, by the way. And on a serious note, he is safe. He wasn't affected by the floods or anything that's been kind of ravaging Texas there. But I've actually collaborated with your good friend, Storm Kingdom, aka Justin. And I always got to laugh because when he did the interview, and I guess he also did an interview with Fox and Sticks, he always did it out of his car right there too. So we could jokingly say his car is now the holy shrine of the storm god or something.
That's right. Yeah. That's his throne room. He's always in the car.
I guess so.
Always giving rides, I understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but the other two, the third one, and actually we just released our first single. It's actually the band called Shadows in the Dark. And this one.
Be looking that one up, Chris. You say that's out?
Yeah. Yeah, it's out. It actually came out last month. And that one was pretty strong because Tim Matthews is his name. He actually was the whole thing that put it together too. And during COVID, it didn't really look good. I mean, he was put on dialysis for a good while there. And good as is, he got a kidney transplant and he's doing well now. Maybe some of the hiccups here and there, but he's still going strong. So
good to hear.
And the last one was actually a friend of mine had reached out of Vegas, and Graham Watson's is his name, and a scapegoat's faith. I think that's what he's going to use it for. But I just did one song with him. He provided the guitars and bass, and I just threw drums in that one there too. So currently 4 to answer your question.
Right on. Cool. I'd love to play a couple of those tonight. We plan to. Let's do that.
All right.
Shall we play one of the first ones?
I recommend the very first one would actually be the song that got me out of my comfort zone was Not for the Faint of Heart. Now it's the one with Storm Kingdom. So
big love for Joss. Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds good to me. Chris is working on getting that up there. Shout out to everyone in the chat tonight. Thank you, Mama, for always being here. Vampires. Please do go and follow if you guys can. Anybody watching this in the future or watching tonight, go follow these bands that we're mentioning and everything that Bryan's been talking about. Tell me one more time the name of your project, man.
The project is called Demiurge.
Demiurge.
Yeah. So in other words,
I'm familiar with the word.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I'm familiar with it. Not that familiar, I guess.
Well, but the way I used it was more like a godlike being that created the universe, to say the least, there too. So, in a joking way, we could say to Justin, "You're welcome." So, then, to everybody else out there, you're welcome. I made you all in my image, to say the least. So,
I love it, man.
Yeah, but actually, I guess while we're still waiting, the name actually came about because it was actually a song by the heavy metal band Meshuggah, and I just saw it the one time and I just looked up and like, what the hell does that word mean? And sure enough, the main one I looked up was basically a godlike being responsible for creating the universe. So I'm like, that's so metal, man.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, I jumped around with the name there too, because I think initially I wanted to name my YouTube channel that, but I just decided to settle on my name because I just decided this is me. Here I am. That's my name. This is what I do on my channel. Take it or leave it. So
excellent. Chris, let's roll it. I have a feeling you got that up ready to roll.
You got on Spotify, Not for the Faint of Heart. Let's see.
Demiurge. Crank it up.
That one's actually featuring me on it, but all right. If he's got it.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, Brian. And I misintroduced that song. That was Storm Kingdom with Brian on vocals, not Demirge, but we will be hearing some of that later.
Yeah.
Booyah, man. Loved it.
Oh, yeah. Actually, a little bit of a funny story. It was actually, let's see. I'll make sure I have it all lined up here too, because that actually came out a year ago. It was actually maybe a couple of days after my birthday. And before then, Justin had put an ad on, or maybe not so much an ad, but a post on Facebook. and he was basically asking people like who would like to fill in vocal duties for these songs that I
I know
have.
the ad you speak of. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you did something, but and I was like, yeah, why not? It was worth a shot. So there was that one. I actually did 2 other ones with him there too. So
Sweet.
and so there's at least that
How
song, I
was
guess.
how was Justin to work with?
Very easy. Actually, he already had, you know, the drums, the guitars, and pretty much everything else. God knows what else he has kind of stored away.
The band, yeah.
So, but yeah, he
Kimmy and
already.
I are actually on deck to do one with him as well. We've been on
Okay.
deck for quite a while, but well, you know when the post came out.
Yeah.
We've been considering doing one as well. But loved it. Hell yeah. Just side question. What was the inspiration on the very end of that, the last 2 seconds, those last little vocals going out there? Was that your idea, his idea? Do you remember?
Oh, the whole vocals actually. I think around that time I had finished playing Dark Souls 2. I was pretty big into the whole Dark Souls series they had going on there. And those last bit of vocals, I guess you were hearing there too. What do you truly want? And let's see. And give us your answer. Let's see. I'm trying to remember how it goes. It was one of the characters in it who kind of like drove the whole story. And Aldia is his name. So Scholar of the First Sin is actually the title they had given him there too. And that was actually the redone, I guess we could say the redone version with the DLCs with Dark Souls 2. And after you beat the final boss, he kind of goes into a whole dialogue there too. And he explains this and that. And then those lyrics, technically the last 3, I should say, like the throne will accept you, but what do you truly want? And then he's just kind of debating, like, give us your answer. So
Right on. Hey, where are you at? Where do you live?
I live in Pittsburgh, PA. So that's where I made my humble abode now these days, because unfortunately, we don't like living an eternity of boredom up in the heavens there, to be honest. So thought I will come down and walk amongst you mortals, to say the least. So,
Did you grow up around there? Where'd you grow up?
born and raised. So, yep. So can't really complain. I'd say outside of college, just going there for about 4 or 5 years. I've always been born and raised in around Pittsburgh. So
When did you pick up the drums, and is that your first instrument?
no, it wasn't actually. The very first instrument I kind of pretty much took seriously. My dad tried to get me into bass, but I never really took that seriously. It was more cello, which I started in 3rd grade. I went all the way through high
Nice.
school. So a little familiar
Made it through
with that.
band. Huh? Was
I made
it?
it through band, yeah.
Did you play in the marching band with that?
Not cello, no, but we did do
of course not.
ensembles.
No.
But I will say this.
I
believe it or
said,
not,
of
we
course
actually-
not.
Yeah, so but actually we did play at Disney World, believe it or not. So and we actually
Right on.
well here's the kicker actually. We actually went into the studio where I guess they still do some of the drawings. I don't know if it's just one of many studios. I don't know, but we actually went in there. We actually played the one Beauty and the Beast song, the one where Bella and Beast dance in the Great Hall right there too. And tales old as time, Beauty and the Beast. So
That's must be surreal being in that kind of atmosphere. Do you still have your cello?
I do not, and it was because of college. And the thing that sucked is the college that had everything I wanted, which was German class, maybe playing in an orchestra, was like 3 hours away. So I picked the college that was a little closer to home. So and they did not have a cello program, so it just sat there collecting dust. So
Gotcha. Played a little trumpet in school band myself until it came to marching band. I've talked about this before, but I was so vain I wasn't going to have that uniform on my head, the carpet hat, all that. But I enjoyed it while it lasted. So was the drums coming straight after the bass?
funny enough, this one actually started because of a rock band, and believe it or not, it's also another question that comes in my pockets near the end because normally I ask people like, do you have any questions for me before we like jump into the final question? So drums, it started sometime in high school when we finally got Rock Band. And of course, you always start off with the guitar, maybe a little bass involved there too, because you always think a chicks dig the guitar player. So so I did that. I eventually took up the drums. And it's obviously you go through the progressions of easy, medium, hard, expert,
Right.
I should say. So
Right.
and
Did you find it? Did you find it an easy transfer from learning how to play with Rock Band and the songs on the TV versus jamming without? Because as a musician, I remember playing that, and it was odd hitting the buttons when you're supposed to versus playing, But what do you think of it? Going the other direction?
I guess you could say kind of the other direction because it helped me actually with the music theory because sometimes you would be hearing the crowd, they'd be clapping and all that stuff. So believe it or not, it actually helped. But I think they're deceiving with the yellow pad, thinking it's like something along those lines. Like it's a lot quicker than what you think it is, even though it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
So I laugh about it these days too, and also you find out that the splash is still the same symbol with the hi hat. It's not what would be considered the ride on the game, for instance. So, but I did that for a while, and then when my parents realized this wasn't just some fad, I was pretty dead serious about drums. They were just like, "Hey, do you want your own drum set?" So, and I can't unfortunately show it to you, but it's just around the.
You still have that, right on.
Yeah.
What is it?
It was actually a Christmas gift to myself last year. It's actually a Roland VAD 706.
Right on. Happy with it?
Oh yeah, very happy. So
does the trick. Hell yeah.
I would say it took a little bit getting used to because the previous set I had, which was like a Roland TD 25K. That's right. Yeah, it was I had a little bit closer to get it because when you play metal, you want to make sure you glide over the drums real quick and easy. So
is that an electronic kit or was it straight up acoustic?
I would say all the kits I've had, they've been electronic. So.
Okay, that probably makes it a little easier when you're creating as we do.
It keeps the sanity of my parents in check, to say the least. So.
There is that acoustic factor, yeah.
So,
right on.
But that's about it. I mean, I'm kind of rolling with it, and actually, I've used it in my other collaborations. And well, I should say my Roland TD 25K I used in my Terror of the Deep covers or collabs we did with my friend TJ, and then this one I've used with Shadows in the Dark and Scapegoat's Fade. So
cool. Do you produce as well? How much do you turn the knobs and slide the faders and all
that? Not very much, to say the least. In fact, if anything, it's just slight alterations because on my YouTube channel, outside of my podcast interviews, I do drum covers. So when I put it all together, I'm using the MIDI that comes in from the module of my drum set. It comes right into the computer right here too. Then I just open my DAW. And the first thing I do is actually put the song from the module into the interface that eventually works its way into the computer. So,
gotcha. And did I hear you correctly? Did you have a YouTube channel that has you doing drum covers? Did I hear that right?
Yep. So under my name.
And
Bryan Gribbin. So yeah.
Drum covers straight up?
I
will be looking at this.
Yeah. Actually, it's both drum covers and my podcast interviews. So it's all combined into one. So
sweet, man. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who do you listen to these days?
Well, the bands I've been listening to are ones that I'm eventually going to cover either this year or next year. I've already got 2026 pretty much laid out at this point, but I got into more of the heavier death metal. So needless to say, I've been a naughty boy, to say the least. So.
Do you want to drop any names, or is that screwing up the secret?
I'll go ahead and drop some. So I would say I'm representing Florida because I know you guys got a couple of bands you know about.
Napalm.
Morbid Angel.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to say Morbid Angel, and then I also got DSI, which I'm going to attempt more next year. So yeah, those are the main ones there too. Those I now made a habit to actually cover like the full album. So I'll do like drum covers for like each song. And I used to do it like where I would bring it all together into one, but I got flagged the one time for it. So I'm like, okay, that's done. So
yeah. Sweet, man. Look forward to checking those out. Well, let's get on to some more music. Chris, what did we have next?
trying to find the Demiurge. I'm not sure how to find that on Spotify because a lot of things are coming up.
Try typing in Terror of the Deep, see if it takes you to the album.
Terror of the Deep album. Put me the artist.
Yeah, might get a little hard, but I think it's like Demiurge and then like just put Terror of the Deep afterwards, see if that works. So also kind of
What's your home life like? Are you married?
No, happily single, to say the least. So sorry,
Gotcha.
Kim. So
Right on.
but it's usually I say laid back, but the other thing too is I work a part-time job at a local restaurant. So I'm pretty much a kitchen assistant, kind of a jack of all trades, to say the least, but I help out
Gotcha.
usually 2 days a week. So and
Right on.
sorry, but check out the chats right here. I'm seeing this Vampirus or something. So
One of our regulars, and we're loving having him with us. Plan to have him
we
as a
got-
guest eventually. Oh
we
my
got
goodness, we have
Necronomicus.
Arcana and Necronomicus now that you say the chat. Speak and the devil appears.
Ow.
Speaking of the devil. So
Yeah, I'm still having
Welcome.
trouble with the Terror of the Deep one. My
Welcome,
Spotify's not
Arcana.
liking me.
We could possibly try another one.
yeah. If you want to try looking up song titles, try Cosmic Horror Unleashed Upon Mankind. See if that works.
Cosmic horror,
Yeah.
like a hooker.
No, not that one.
Wrong kind of horror.
Think Lovecraftian horror.
You know,
Never want to have dead air on a show. It's the worst thing you can ever do.
That's for sure, yeah. That's why I always make it a habit to try to fill in the awkward silences. So
I'm totally kidding, man. We don't give a fuck here.
every time
Yeah.
I talk, it's awkward silence.
we gotta put a mic up against the mouth right there for you, Duke. So
Hey, man, I'll do a shout out here while we're doing this. You mentioned some video games. I have a great video game to recommend called Depths of Insanity. Depths of Insanity 3, the third version, will be released later this year, most likely in December. This is from Sloppy Joe Studios out of Sweden. You were mentioning earlier, Sweden. We've formed a pretty tight friendship, and he's got a few indie bands in the game, actual characters, NPC, or not NPCs, but characters. And the original version of the game, you would walk around and find cassette tapes, old school cassette tapes, and they would have indie music on it of, our friends. And then as the game's progressing, there's other ways of hearing some of this stuff. Arcana Necronomicus here with us in the chat tonight. Someone of their band I believe Butcher is in the band, in the game, excuse me. And a whole slew of other indie bands. So it's on stream. Always get that fucked up. But the video gaming platform that you can go to. And 1, 2 is on there. 1 and 2 of Depths of Insanity are on there right now. And you will be able to either wish list or go check out Depths of Insanity 3, like I say, later this year. It's definitely worth checking out. First and third person shooter and adventure, and all kinds of side little ventures that you can do. Definitely worth checking out. Go Sloppy Joe Studios.
is that like one of those indie sort of horror games?
It's there's horror-ish parts of it, but I think it's more adventure than that. But he's got all kinds of scary shit going through it, and it's not necessarily a horror game, more shooter role adventure.
Oh, so
But
like
it
one of
is
those weird games, yeah.
it's an indie game. Yeah, it's worth checking out.
No, you're making me want to download it so I can play it on the plane Saturday.
I don't know if you're going to be able to do that in airplane mode, unless you just want to do that while you're waiting for the board your plane.
Yeah, with my luck, I'll probably have like a 2 or 3 hour layover in Atlanta, so I'll need something to kill time.
Atlanta's the worst. I mean, yeah, my parents will tell you. So I guess we're able to find it because I'm actually getting a little nervous now.
Cosmic Horror. I'm ready for. I got Cosmic Horror ready to go.
All right.
Let's roll on that. You want to tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, sure. This was actually our first collab I did with TJ from Waiting at the Bridge. And we shared a lot of the same interests and influences with the death metal genre and everything. He's more into the doom sludge sort of style right here too. So, but he also really had respect for like Incantation and like those sorts of bands. So I was like, try something along those lines, and he did. And but you also find out about the lyrics of this one. I don't know if you ever played the game Bloodborne.
I have not. So.
That's it. You know, it's a challenging game. I will tell you that. It almost made me rage quit the one side, but I persevered. I did beat the game, so it's a tough one. But once you get the hang of it, too, it comes naturally afterwards. So that's really what the lyrics are kind of based on. So there's a bit of a DLC side to it there too. So that's kind of what the first few lyrics are in the song. So
Hell yeah. Let's check it out.
Ready?
all right.
Here
Fingers
we
crossed.
go.
Hopefully it's the fingers crossed. Let's hope it's the right one here.
We never have
Cosmic
mistakes on this show.
Horror Unleashed Upon Mankind, single by Demiurge from Spotify.
That sounds right.
All right.
Rocket. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that one
Respect.
that was the first one I did as the drummer. So just want to clarify that to everybody. So
Yeah, it was good. Fuck yeah.
thanks.
Let's start
So-
looking for the other one if we can right now.
I
Do
guess
we
is
have another one? That
I
was
mean,
it?
we released that song kind of a joking way. It was originally meant to be 5 songs on a CD or an album we were putting together that we released in Halloween the last year. But
Mhm.
we released that one again with actually a song that we had released as a single previously. That one was trying to remember it too. It's like Upon the Throne of Atlantis or something. Or like the Onyx Throne of Atlantis or something. So I'm sorry, my memory's a little bit jogged right now there too. So but
And,
Love the subject matter.
upon the resurrected onyx altar of Atlantis.
that's it. Okay, yeah. Jeez.
Was that the edited down version from the long title?
No, that was originally I was meant to be.
I'm just fucking with you, man. That's a
Yeah,
great
no.
title. Love it.
No. Actually, here's another funny part too. That was actually based more on Tomb Raider. Did you ever play that back in the day?
Oh, that one. Now we're talking.
That was a very
It was probably one, but yeah,
resurrected.
played a lot of
Foe.
that actually.
Yeah,
Burned
actually,
up some vacation time doing that.
that too. But, actually, it was basically based on Natla and the whole Atlanteans getting their revenge on humanity. So in this case, the bad guy wins in the end. And I know we talked about Deicide earlier, but what I'm going to be doing in my drum covers. But there's a lyric near the end right there. You're hearing like "You are dead," and that was actually a little shout out to when Glenn did a nice little growl during the song "Dead by Dawn." You hear like the one bit. So I was like, let's do something like that, make it look more menacing and all that. So
Brian, you're great, man. You've got a grin on your face like you're getting away with something doing these covers or doing this music. I mean,
oh yeah, I wish to spread my gospel far and wide, so they know about the word of the demiurge, if we want to say it that way. So,
you don't strike me as the sinister character. You know, Kimmy and I were listening to a thing on Aleister Crowley the other night, or bad dude. But you don't strike me as that kind of guy.
in all seriousness, though, I am usually a quiet guy, but I wish to be friends with everybody, to say the least. So it's almost like, don't be a dick to me, I won't be a dick to you. So
Words to live by.
and also, I
That's
live by the no harm, no foul. So that's another one that everybody should live by.
Yeah.
So.
I like the golden rule myself. Chris, let's play that other one. This next one. I can't remember the name of it.
Upon the resurrected onyx altar of Atlantis. So
Tip of my tongue, man. It was right there.
that Atlantean song, we'll just leave it at that. So
The Atlantis song. All right. That works for
all
me.
right. All right.
Strict attention to detail.
I got to do my homework coming into this here too. So thank God for Chris. So
Chris is our savior, man. Speaking in those kind of terms, he saves my ass.
I'll
yeah.
wait for the lightning to come down and hit me now.
I said it, you didn't.
True.
I mean, I was pointing in his direction, so I thought that would work.
Yeah.
Is it too much to ask for? A
Almost.
little precipitation? So yeah.
I'm going to laugh if lightning hits my plane this weekend.
No.
Like, John, it's all your fault.
Oh, John, God damn it. That whole deal. So yeah.
BSing about the religious stuff a little too much.
Maybe.
So,
But
Oh, I didn't ask.
it'd be a little light.
When can we catch? I'm jumping way back to earlier in the program. When can we catch your show? Is it on at a certain do you have a normal time that you usually run, or
for the
or to be
podcast,
announced?
they're always actually I've already got scheduled out to November right now, so that's how far ahead I am. So But you catch all podcast interviews Monday and Wednesday usually. A couple days I've
Mhm.
done like Wednesdays with some drum covers, but usually I have my drum covers on Fridays. And one thing I used to do, but
Okay.
I kind of put it on the back burner for now, was the McGribb show. So it was kind of my own little YouTube radio, to say the least. Try to give everybody
Mhm.
some shout outs and play their music. And
Sweet.
that wasn't necessarily working out too well just yet. So I'm hoping to expand the channel a little bit more, then see if we can bring it back maybe next year at the latest.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out, man.
Mhm.
Checking out
So
the
technically,
strips.
So technically, outside of also random footage, which is also concerts I went to after COVID, it's mainly the podcast, drum covers, and then a little bit of the McGribb show, then a fourth one with random footage, which is pretty much concerts I got to in my neck of the woods.
Sweet. Like bootleggy stuff
No, not that far. So
or just behind the scenes?
more so getting up close to the stage, and actually, it's live footage of bands I personally grew up with too. I know I've also
Yeah.
I saw like Gojira when they were with Deftones. Then last year
Cool.
was Megadeth with All That Remains and Mudvayne. So
Oh, I love Mudvayne. And of
Oh,
course, Dave is God, but love Mudvayne. Fuck yeah.
actually, trick question,
Megadeth.
kid. Let me
You
as
don't need.
God.
What can you say
Yeah.
about Megadeth? I mean, they've been around
Yeah.
forever.
Ageless, he remains. So well, it's kind of a shame he didn't show up to that concert in Birmingham, which was Ozzy's farewell. I don't think he played.
His last tour, right?
Yeah. Actually, I
He's
know
retired.
Metallica, Slayer, and Anthrax had played, but I guess they didn't invite Megadeth, so that's kind of a shame, but oh well.
I'm not sure. Has Megadeth ever played with Metallica? Have they done that? I should know this, but I don't remember ever seeing them on the bill.
maybe
Same
not
bill.
together, but I thought maybe this would be an exception since it's Ozzy, but I don't think maybe recently. I don't know if there's still any bad blood between James and Dave, so probably a
Yeah,
good thing just to
I don't
keep it
know
as
that there's
is.
a whole lot of bad blood anymore, but yeah, Dave can only go so far, I'm sure. What are they going to do when it comes to mechanics?
Good question. I mean, I don't know. It's all in my
Would
hands
be fun.
now, to say the least.
Would be fun to see.
So yeah. But I mean, it's 6 one half dozen another. So I mean, the only difference is the vocalist singing. So I mean, like, take your
A little
pick.
bit of a tempo change, but yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, can you play that beautiful bean footage?
Yes.
Alatas.
Wow!
Strap yourself in, folks.
Again, thick and dark. Nice.
I'll take a
Nice
bow.
work.
So,
Hell yeah. As you should.
Shout out to Laura Croft for Tomb Raider 1 back on the PS1 days. So
Nice, man.
the memories that were made there right there too. I just remember being scared shitless anytime you're going through the Atlantis levels and you're seeing these guys popping out of their, we should call them like big eggs in this case, because that's literally what they were, popping out of their shells or whatever. Just come at you with those screeching noises. They're hopping all over the place, or they're shooting at you with like fireballs or something. Man. Those are fun times. So that's a shout
Put
out
in the
there.
music.
So yeah.
Fuck yeah. Hell
So
yeah.
that one there was actually the second single that me and TJ did together. So, and then we remastered that one for like the Terror of the Deep album that we released last year on Halloween. So
Right on. Well, this about brings us to the portion of the show that we always like to ask our guests. Do you have any questions for us?
I was
I'm
saying
I'm totally ripping you off, man. I'm doing it on purpose.
That's what I was saying. I mean, like, now you just copied me. Now you just copied me.
We just totally stole from you, man.
I'm suing for copyright. So
he's a hack. He just takes everyone else's shit.
Well, I am the demiurge.
That's Chris
so,
his first.
So,
Okay, well.
All right. But anyway. Well, I have asked Chris a good bit here already. So yeah. But I guess we'll just start with the easy one for Chris, I guess. How you been recently? What's new, Chris?
I've been good. Nothing's new, really. Just enjoying life as much as I can. And I'm going to Florida next week.
And what's this you doing Zumba? So yeah, what's you doing Zumba right now?
I didn't start it yet.
Could you do that one more time for us, Chris? This thing?
What, the Zumba?
I saw that on your...
I have to do it a little higher. But anyway. There we go.
I want to take the training to help myself get back in a better shape, but if I do start teaching it, I want to create a metal version of Zumba.
That could be interesting. Though I thought maybe that would be like, what do they call those dark rooms with the bikes?
You'd be done in half the time. Right?
Yeah. Something like that. Unless they're too busy trying to headbang or that sort of deal. So
yeah,
you're working out to that.
Neck hurts.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I get a nice workout just from the drums and doing metal that way.
Get some of that cardio metal going.
Oh yeah. Is that what they call it? Where they have like all the bikes in the room right there? Everyone starts pedaling, and I guess I don't know if they're looking at a screen or something, or instructors like telling them what to do.
Spin class?
Something like that, yeah. I wasn't too sure.
I'm a certified indoor cyclist.
That's the Army
trainer now too.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not working right now.
Racking up the credentials,
Chris. I can get.
He's working there. He wants to have something whenever he's ready to come. He said he beats.
He's got a string of letters.
So yeah.
Yes.
Right. So, and I guess John. What made you form a superposition?
Control freak. It's a nice way, or not a nice way of putting it, but so many decisions that I really like to just handle myself when it comes to production of being in other bands, straight up, and not having a drummer is the way I went, out of the box, or completely in the box, I guess, as far as drums go. So the way that Soup had formed out, I had thrown down the bass and sang over that, did what guitar work I could, and brought my skills up a lot for the next few albums on guitar and whatnot, and still have currently been working on lead at this point. But finding what I could do with drums, programming them and whatnot. I had played in live bands my whole life, and the band I was in currently in Phoenix, Arizona, wasn't working for me. I was having a problem even getting to band practice. Some things were going south for me. So started doing it on my own, released the first EP when I got over to Florida, coming over to marry my lovely wife. And yeah, I of course had to get these songs out. I had a shit ton of riffs and wanted to make some music, and it was just going a lot easier for me to go kind of a solo one-man project. And then as we went, I got Kane from Snakes singing with us, and loved having him. And recently got Chris Brandon on playing live. We were going to do Punk on the Corn. I still want to shout out Punk on the Corn, but this is probably the first official time I'll make note of it. Superposition is not going to be playing the show this year, and I feel horrible about it, but we just weren't able to get up there. I've already notified Tim and crew, but if you haven't heard, Soup is off the bill, and still encourage everyone to go up and check out that show. It's going to be a rocking show up in Davenport, Iowa, October 10th and 11th. Please go check it out. Check out Tim and EWL, and check out Tim's broadcast on Friday. But getting back to the original statement, Soup is not going to be playing up there. But that's the answer to your question, man.
That's a pretty good story.
That gives you a year to find somebody who loves to play drums and loves metal music.
Yeah. We may have to talk later,
right
Brian.
I think we might have a nice little chat. So,
yeah.
But,
we do plan on. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually interviewed Tim a while back there too, and
yeah, he's hell of a dude. Yeah,
it's a funny guy.
Madman on the show, man. I think I'd be hard pressed to keep up that kind of energy as he does.
Yeah,
playing live's one thing. I mean, I can rock the show all night, but as a podcast goes, I have a hard time doing what he does, but he does it so well. Yeah.
I was gonna, I do want to ask him too what he had to switch, because he and I, we used to use Skype, and there's a free version, and then Microsoft, as the dirtbags that they are, got rid of it. So I'm actually curious if he went to Microsoft Teams, which I think is probably your only alternative version for the free one now. Otherwise, you come out here to StreamYard. So
yeah,
I'm actually curious.
Yeah, I don't know what he uses.
So,
but as far as the show goes, thank you for being on. I would like to play a few Mama's Maiden studio videos, excuse me. Originally, we were considering playing a few before you got on tonight, Brian, but we appreciate you making it on the opening of the show. We'd like for you to hang out for a little bit if you want to, if you got a few more minutes.
Sure.
Did you have any, we'll be talking more, but did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give?
Well, shout outs to Benny, especially for everyone who's come on the podcast right here. So just to at least name off some of the indies that are coming off the head, and I'm sorry if I forget someone. So we'll start first with Chris. So Chris Dukester coming on first off. So Storm Kingdom, Wayne at the Bridge. We had Gil Saw, Jeremy Zumarin. He's actually part of A Beautiful Scar. So keep in mind, I have a lot of EWO, which I mentioned. So I'm sorry if I forget anybody, but I'm going to try to just keep listing off as I keep going along. Chris Brandon, and also Morning Scars. So we got Morning Scars, and we got Fans kept on. So Johan and Pascal there. And the New Black Diamonds, also out of Sweden. And Realm of Chaos out of Germany. So there's a few. I'm going to say we had a lot of Chris's. And
there are a lot of Chris's.
Yeah, there are a lot of Chris's. So every Chris has come on the podcast. All music matters to that.
All the Chris's.
Yes. So Mike Conway, who's a drummer, he's out of the St. Louis area. I'll give a shout out to Mr. JJ Drums TV, Jeff Jansen. He's an old guy out of Arizona, so I'll give a shout out to him there too. So
right on. Sweet.
I'll just leave it at that there too.
Well,
but everybody who's come on the podcast, just so you don't feel left out. So
and go check out all the back podcasts you can. Mama's Maiden, Chris, Ash, check them. So, Chris Dukester, can we play the what was it? Tension Splash video, the latest one on. I think that's the last one Mama made
Actually,
for.
do we want to play? Do we want to play that last song still that we had queued up for Brian?
Oh shit! Did I? We had that booted up, the Atlantis song, and just totally.
We had a.
It's been a long day, Brian. I apologize. Yes, we do want to do that.
I think was the song Brian was on.
Shadows in the Dark. The song was called "Young Ones." So
yes,
that one I just did drums on that one. So
I absolutely want to hear that. I apologize. I didn't realize we had another one booted up.
Yeah,
bullshit so long.
That too, and imagine the day job keeps everyone occupied. So
it was a hot one today, man. We were in it, so I'm going to use that as an excuse. But I apologize. Yes, let's definitely check that out.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Oh, wrong song. What am I doing?
It's all right.
Come on, Chris.
Much of my life contemplating the end. What will it be like? Will I see him? When you're stricken with disease that'll see no end, you see the world a little different cause it's not your old friend. Your life becomes a prison trap behind your own set. Looking through bars that I have access of. Live life to the fullest, never have regrets. Just remember time will come when you face your death.
Don't deserve to die when time has come to leave fear behind. Will I look and see him by my side? His life can change in the blink of an eye. Young ones don't deserve to die when time has come to leave fear behind. Will I look and see him by my side? His life can change in the blink of an eye.
I choose not to live a life in which my hands are bound. I have so much to prove, so much to love. But if the end may come sooner than I'd like to think, I lived a full and just life of love, compassion, and peace.
Young ones don't deserve to die when it's judgment day without a reason why. Have I lived a good life? Have I used my time? Make this world a better place for my kids and I. Young ones don't deserve to die when it's judgment day without a reason why. Have I lived a good life? Am I worthy of light? If it ends tonight, will I begin to rise?
In these uncertain times, in an uncertain place, there's a Savior who loves you with amazing grace. And if you fear the end, well, that's often the case. Just listen here, young ones, cause I've seen his face.
A lot. Hell
This
yeah.
is where I quit.
He's like,
I
can't
fucked
do
up
it
worse than
anymore.
you did tonight, man.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's great, man.
yeah.
Tell me
They should
again
have-
who was that was you
Tim
doing
Matthews
what
is his
and
name. Tim Matthews was the one who actually put it together, and he did some of the lyrics there, as well as some of the vocal duties. And I think they said her name's Alicia. And I should notice too, because we were actually doing a little text message back and forth. But I did drums on that. And a little funny part, actually, near the end of the song, where everyone was supposed to do like a big chant, like "Young ones don't deserve to die," and I was actually supposed to do a little vocal track there. So he scrapped the idea, but it was at least fun while it lasted. But still came out badass nonetheless.
Like that one. Hell yeah! I'm glad I'm glad Chris remembered we were playing it.
Thank God for Chris. So yeah.
Hell yeah!
So I guess is there anything else you guys would like to know? I go all night at this point, so we're kicking it. So yeah.
Favorite breakfast cereal?
You know, I used to really love Cocoa Puffs when I was a kid, but I've actually really backed off of cereal, to be honest. I maybe have it like dessert, to be honest. But it's either that or the Honey Nut Cheerios. So Cocoa Puffs or Honey Nut Cheerios, one or two. Can't go wrong with them.
Gotcha. Yeah. Kimmy and I eat a lot of cereal. Big cereal fans. We do.
I guess are you more of the Frosted Flakes sort of ones or the Honey Nut Cheerios?
I like this O's. I don't know if they're nationwide. I forget who makes them. Post Kellogg. I don't know. But just O's, not Honey Bunches of O's or Honey Bunches of Death, but O's. And shout out to Honey Bunches of Death.
Yep. So actually today I actually had some Burger King breakfast. Some sausage, egg, and cheese croissants. So yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. I go for the biscuit, but hell yeah. Some good eats.
So
we like our Cuban coffee as well in the morning. Kind of hooked on that.
Cuban coffee.
You ever drink the Cuban, man?
I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I've had bad experiences. So
oh well, yeah, I don't recommend it then. But if you are a coffee lover, it's good shit.
Gets the heart pumping, so at least wakes you up in the morning. So yeah. Actually, funny enough,
right on.
I was gonna say my main place that I work at, I do more of accounting work for like I guess you know about Dunkin' Donuts, that whole deal. So we work as a franchisee of that place. So just gonna spoil that much. I don't know how much they want me to give away. So I'll just say that. So support Dunkin' Donuts, people. So
you heard it here first.
I do in Florida, not up in Wisconsin.
Well, then start bloody well putting some right there, Chris. So
well, we got some. They're just not as good as they are in Florida.
I was gonna say, what are you getting that Tim Hortons shit from Canada? Come on.
No, I'm a Starbucks junkie.
All right.
He is too. He's got to have a Starbucks.
Yeah. Everyone's got a preference. So all right.
Yeah, mapping out my flights. Like, okay, where in the airport is the closest Starbucks?
Yeah,
and
Starbucks
hit
for me.
before,
Either that it's the closest nearest thing that I could just go and eat at, and then just sit down and just maybe enjoy something. So yeah. Or something that just take away like the whole crying baby behind me on the airplane. So, something to drive the sorrows away. So
give me a double mocha. I'm happy. Let's play some Tension Splash, Chris. You got a few minutes, Brian? Can you hang?
Yeah, sure. But I will give a shout out to Gray. He came on a little while back, so he represented Tension Splash on the podcast. So
right on.
Shout out Gray. So love you, man.
Is that the song we wanted?
The latest one she did for Tension Splash.
Hoping it's willing. Looks like that's only about 2 weeks old, so that should be it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I should find out. I kept calling him Gary for some reason. I didn't think it was Gray. So
Getty?
No, Gary. So
yeah, Chris and I are Rush friends.
Yeah. Everyone's got a guilty pleasure when it comes to Rush. So yeah.
You gotta love Rush. We had is it Gandalf on the show as well?
I think so.
It was a wizard's name. I believe it was Gandalf.
There's always somebody. I would say
From
I've had my fair share of interviews you consider a little outrageous. So, but at the same time, it's just people just doing a shtick, I guess.
How do you do with recall of names, spaces, facts of bands, things like that? You pretty good with it?
I think if I see the person's face, let alone, I think more so the band name, if anything. So,
Can you remember all the interviews that you've done?
I mean, I got over 300. I got over 300 here, so I mean, like that's asking a whole lot. So
You're way up on us.
So
You ready for the video?
Let's
yeah,
do
we're
it.
waiting on you. I wasn't sure if he was ready, so let's do it.
Yeah. Attention splash.
Oh yeah.
Almost Maiden Studio. Excellence.
I was gonna say, Kim put the whole music video together.
What about it?
Did she put the whole music video together?
Oh yeah, that's her creation. That's right. Had some feedback and a little collaboration with the band, but it's a Mama's creation. Badass one too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I want to give you a recommendation, Brian. I know you said you're booked out for the year, but if you have a dropout, if you have a chance, please try to get Arcana Necronomicus on your show, man. You won't be disappointed. They do not disappoint. You don't know who will be on there, but might be able to work that out with the band. I don't know, but I would totally recommend. They're a regular with our show. We love having them on, and it's always something different.
I just saw it's open for the rest of this year here too. So, Arcana, I guess, just shoot me a message on Messenger. I'm hoping they're on Facebook, so just do it that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, give me an email at bmgribs@gmail.com. So you guys
Sweet.
can reach out to me there. And I guess anyone
Love to
else
see that.
anyone else in the comments there too. Feel free to email me or message me on Messenger or Instagram too. I haven't used Instagram in a while, but I still got my account up and everything.
Oh yeah. Right on. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap it up here. Sure appreciate you coming down, man. Thank you. 100
No
times.
worries. And but thank you, John, for having me on
Look
here too. But also big shout out to Chris too
Yeah,
for
man.
also helping put this whole thing together. So just one last thing.
Fuck that, Chris.
Just one last thing I did want to say about some of our collabs. Hopefully, they're going to be released this year. But first one, I waited on Graham with Scapegoat's Fate to see when he plans on putting that together. But the one I think will be released soon is actually Shadows in the Dark. We got a new song coming out. Hopefully, either this month or maybe in August. I'll get in touch with Tim and we'll go from there. And the one you would all be waiting for is Demiurge. So TJ's already sent me a couple songs, so we're gonna be putting an album together and hopefully release it maybe September, maybe just do it October again, just maybe do a nice little trend with releasing on Halloween. So
Right on. Well, I know you got a great podcast show to release it on, but if you want another one, please come back and play it on our show. We'd love to have it.
no worries. And to answer, how do you pronounce it? Is it Kuf? What, Cuff or something?
Yes, Cuff.
Cuff.
They want to
Cuff.
know what the name of your show is.
So all music matters in that. The last bit right there is N with an apostrophe AT. But even if you spell it without the apostrophe, it should probably take you there too. Otherwise, look up my name, Bryan Gribbin on YouTube. But I also got on Spotify as well if you want to see some episodes. They're already scheduled a little later this year, but you can also catch them a little early on my Spotify. So you can also find it on there. So, and hope I didn't forget anything.
You're going to see a lot of familiar faces on there as well.
That's for sure. So,
right on. Well, thank you. Thank you, Chris. You want to do any shout outs, Chris, before we get out?
Yeah, better give a shout out to My Indieverse, found at www.myindieverse.com, which yes, it's above my head.
I love that, man.
It's a great platform built by creative type for the creative type. Everybody's welcome, and there's no restrictions like Facebook gives.
I literally brought that up
Ooh,
when
yeah.
he had it above his head right there. I immediately thought the whole SpongeBob thing. So we had to at least get a SpongeBob reference.
It doesn't take much to amuse me sometimes, man. That's fucking classic. Also, Mama's Maiden Studio, the video you just saw. You need any video work done, artwork done, logos, that type of thing. Please give Kimmy a call. She does fantastic work. It'll get in your head, and you'll wonder how she did it. You'll also be quite pleased with the work.
I can also test that too.
And yeah, fuck yeah. Go check out the other videos on our channel. Mama's Maiden Studio on YouTube.
There's even some Duke videos that she did.
Yep. A lot of soup videos, all of my videos. And Lots more. Well, I'm starting to space out here, man. We better bail.
Yeah.
Everyone have a great night. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you next Thursday.
There we go. We gotta do it like this. Always gotta.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. All right.
Go Spock. Shout out to Spock. Go
Yes.
see him in Texas. San Antonio's best punk band.
All right. God bless everybody who came out here too. God bless to you guys as well. So.
You too.
Take care.